Hey, what's up, parents, teachers, therapists, anybody who's interested in supporting kids with executive function challenges, whatever the heck that means, but we'll discuss that today. This is Sean. What's up, Sean McCormick? How are you?
Hey Seth, doing good. How are you?
Excellent. Stoked to be chatting with you today and to have you back on TEFOS. And Sean has a site called where are we here? Executive Function Specialist.com, efspecialist.com. And I, Seth, am here at TIFOS 24, and we've got a great lineup of speakers. So if you're a parent who wants to learn, you can enter your email there. But I want to get right into this topic for you parents right now. So Sean has worked with tons of parents, teachers, students over the years, and is a rock star in this executive function world. And Sean, when you meet a parent and they say to you, Sean, I've heard about this executive function thing, I don't get it. And it's a parent who's really new to the concept, and they ask you, what the heck is executive function? How might you respond to that person?
I would say that executive function are the cognitive processes that help you achieve your goals. And if you're thinking about it for your student, when you ask them to do their homework, sometimes they have to set things aside or put down the YouTube or put their phone away. So there's all these skills like inhibition or initiation that they need to be able to utilize in order to meet the goals of getting their homework done, graduating school, living independently, all those important aspects of life. And if we have good executive function skills because we've developed them and our parents have supported us and we've been in school environments that help these things, then our life outcomes are going to be better according to the research. But if we don't develop these skills, things are going to be a lot harder. So I would say they're very important skills that are skills that you can develop.
And if the parent then follows up with a question like this, okay, Sean, well, like I'm sure you've heard this before, Sean, and it drives me nuts when I hear people say, doesn't everybody have ADHD? No, everybody does not have ADHD. Everybody has executive function, and everybody has different levels of different executive function skills in the different skill set areas. But when a parent then says to you something like, well, how do I know if my child's executive function, quote, challenges are something to be concerned about? How might you respond to that?
Yeah. So I would say, well, the first thing you could do is you could take a free assessment. So I have a list of free assessments on my website. One of them is yours, Seth, that you share on your website. I also have one. Yeah. So if you go over to articles, and then you go under executive function skills, and this is the first upper left one, how to assess executive function skills, top free resources. So I've listed out my favorite ones. So one's yours. Peg Dawson has a free one called the ESQR, where you can actually like put in like, does my child struggle with homework? Do they struggle to initiate tasks? And you can rank it, and you can get basically a free printout that shows like which areas they struggle in or are doing well in. And then Chris Hansen of Life Skill Advocate also created a free assessment. So first thing I'll do is start to assess it, look at it a little bit. Most parents really know their kids and like, look, my kid has been missing assignments for years. Like they struggle to communicate. So you may not need to do an assessment. You may already know that your kid's struggling with it, and that's why you're here. And so I would say the next step is that you have to recognize that these are skills. It's not a character flaw. And kids with ADHD, if your kid has ADHD, autism, or a different learning disability, that they probably have more challenges with executive functioning than the average neurotypical student. And so you are going to want to come up with a plan to support them.
Perfect, perfect. Thanks. And then again, we are at TIFOS 24, the Executive Function Online Summit, and you can register right here if you haven't registered yet. But Sean is one of our speakers, and you can check out the lineup here. But this summit that we run every year, we are here to, this is a very unique summit. This is not your typical summit. We come from the heart here, and we really look for practical. I am all about practical, parents. I want you to walk away with practical, actionable things you can implement to support your child. And there's a lot of information out there, but who cares if you can't implement? So, Sean, what is your topic? What are we going to learn from you this year at TIFOS?
Yeah, well, I definitely have to do a little head nod or tip of the cap to you, Seth, because as a former special ed teacher, when I saw what you were doing and you created that awesome course called The Best Semester Yet, I was really inspired. I was like, oh, what would I teach kids to help them have the most successful semester? And so I created a course called Semester Success Blueprint. And so in my talk, I'm going to walk you through what I would highly recommend people do if they're trying to help their kid have a successful semester. And I break it down into 4 parts. So the first part is you've got to start with what I call a student dashboard or a digit, like a planner, basically a planner that works, not one like that's just thrown on the kid's desk and like figure it out. A student dashboard is where they keep their assignments, their teacher emails, their logins for their classes, their templates that they're going to communicate when they're struggling. So that's a dashboard. So I'll teach you how to build one of those. That's ADHD friendly. Step two, I'm going to walk you through how to use Google Calendar effectively so that students know how to chart out their time, make correct time estimates, readjust their plan. And then third, I'm going to walk you through how to communicate effectively with your teachers using templates. A lot of kids struggle. They don't know what to say. They haven't been trained in how to email or communicate with teachers. So I teach a process called ping, which is basically a pleasant introduction, inform and inquire, negotiate your need, and then end with gratitude. A lot of kids just don't have a framework for communicating. And then lastly, we'll just go through some best practices on how to manage the semester and the ups and downs of it so that you can be successful.
And then finally, Sean, for the parent who is new to you and they aren't familiar with you and your work, and they say to you, "Hey, Sean, what do you do to help kids and families? I don't get it. What's your job?" How might you respond to that?
Yeah. So I'm an executive function coach and I'm a former special ed teacher
That's your
who
side
realized
again.
that kids really struggle with less with content, although content is a piece of the challenge, but more with like how do I organize myself? How do I problem solve when I feel stuck? How do I plan out my time? How do I set long-term goals? And so I realized that that's actually the most important part of education. So I left the school system because the school system usually focuses on content, and I focused on delivering coaching to students and families to teach them executive function skills so they can have successful lives. Because at the end of the day, who cares, how you did on a history test? It's whether you can communicate effectively with people, whether you can like be accountable for your goals and, be a person that people would want to work with. That's what matters at the end of the day. So that's what I teach to students and parents.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Sean, again for being here. Appreciate you. Sean's a rock star, as I said. And if you haven't signed up yet, you just go right here to executivefunctionsummit.com. And if you like what we're doing, the best way that people find out about us is through you with word of mouth. So if we're helping you out, I'm asking you humbly help us out and get the word out with us so more people can find out about it. We have an early bird special if you're looking at this video before the summit starts, and this is the all access pass, which we try to make it a phenomenal no-brainer resource that really helps you help your child for a long, long time. So thanks, Sean, for being here. Thanks, parents. Take
Yeah,
care.
thanks, Seth. See you at TEFOS.
All right, take care.